thank you for taking the time to talk to us again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How are things in your world, man?
Real good, man. The shows have been incredible. If you go and you check on my Instagram, you can see what's really been happening at the shows. The festivals have been crazy.
Oh yeah, I saw.
And it's real cool. We had some ability to take off time, and it was like, do you want to take off nights or play other shows? And we said, we want to play some club shows. So we've been doing, 500, 700 seaters, small, in between. And tonight is a small one. I think it holds like 300 something people, and it's going to be crazy.
Nice and cozy.
Yeah. I can't wait. I think the energy from those shows is very important to a band.
Yeah.
To get you that energy for the big stage,
You have a more direct connection with your fans.
Oh, 100%. You can, you're grabbing hands, you're talking to people, what? Oh, okay, cool. We'll play that song.
You can actually hear them, yeah.
Yeah.
How different is that for you to be on such a small stage if you compare it to last weekend Grass Pop?
You have to take the energy from the small stage and bring it to that big stage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that fan base, they won't get it. And then all that energy from the big stage, you take that into a small room, oh, it's like a punch in the face,
Sledgehammer.
So tonight will be really fun, and I know the band is looking forward to it. Festivals, we only get 40, 45 minutes. Tonight we can play an hour and 10, hour and 5, depending on how hot we get, if it gets too hot in there. But we added a bunch of songs, which is cool.
Awesome. When you played Grass Pop, you only did one song from the new album, right?
Yes.
Was it a time limit thing?
No, well, it was a time limit thing, and we were going to do another song, My Night Sky or Trust No One, but the record's been out a year. Technically, we should be playing more at Grass Pop of that record.
Yeah.
But there are some fan favorites that we did play, and so we had to make sure and play those,
Yeah.
Clouds Over California, The Wretched, I Could Care Less, certain tunes, and we kind of went down the list, said, look, just let's play one off the new record for this.
Yeah. It must be hard if you get stuck playing the same songs again.
Yeah, we're going out in the fall time. We're doing almost 8 weeks in the United States, and we're going to really switch it up.
Yeah.
We're going to play a lot of songs we haven't played in years, some songs that we haven't never played. Like on Spotify, our Spotify list is huge, and there's a song called The Devil's Son on the first record.
Just now.
And we've never played that live, and it's got like more hits than any song we've ever written. So we figured we would throw it in to that.
A special song. It has a nice rhythm to it.
Yeah. On the early days, we managed to really capture a rhythm and a groove, and gladly so held it through to these 7 records.
How did you experience the circle pits on the festivals?
It's been incredible.
Yeah.
It's real cool, man. It's different than a hardcore thing, everyone can join in. Sometimes it gets very ferocious. Other times, you're okay to get in there. But I think that connection between the crowd is a very important thing. We don't do that to them. They don't just do that alone. We do that together. So the connection is very important for DevilDriver with the fans, yeah.
I saw some videos and it was amazing.
Yeah.
The download videos.
Unreal. Hellfest the other day was a complete different story too. Craziness. Grass Pop, the minute we came out on stage, they just opened up the pit and started going crazy. So that was great. I had mic problems the first 30 seconds, the first verse, and so in my own head I was dealing with that. But then when the crowd is going so crazy, it took me right out of it and got me right back in to where I was supposed to be.
Back to what's real.
Yeah, get me right back into it.
My first circle pit ever was a DevilDriver show.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was in a tent.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Really awesome.
Yeah, the tent stage. Well, Grass Pop's a great festival, and it's been very good to us over the years. We haven't been back in many, many years, maybe 4 or 5, I think. And so I think the stage that we played, obviously the main stage there, or I don't know if that was the second main stage or what that was called, but wherever Slayer's playing, it's the main stage for me.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care if Aerosmith's over here, it's the main stage is wherever Slayer is playing.
Exactly, yeah.
So
2 main stages these years.
Yeah, 2 main stages. It was just great, just to say how many people have seen DevilDriver, and then to watch that whole crowd put their hand up, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But being out of the marketplace, I think helped us. And then coming back, because these shows have been our shows are always kind of crazy, but these have been out of control. And I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. No one's gotten hurt, which is cool. We never want that. And B, it's obvious that being out of the marketplace for a while has not hurt the band. As a matter of fact, it's done something very positive. It shows that people have missed us. So we have all really committed to coming over next year and the following years and spending, 16 to 18 weeks touring these markets, which is a lot for an American band. They're usually over, 3 weeks here, 3 weeks there.
Small vacation?
Yeah, maybe 9 weeks total a year, but we're going to come over for double that. Yeah.
I'm going to see you there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Especially with the new album coming up, Outlaw Country.
Yeah, well, there's been kind of a chokehold put on us from the label.
Yeah.
We can't really talk anymore. But the example I can give you is this. We're doing Outlaw Country covers, heavier than anything you've ever heard from DevilDriver.
Yeah.
So, real heavy. So the example is Ghost Riders in the Sky. Arguably enough, one of Johnny Cash's biggest songs. He's not the writer, but that's one of his biggest songs. I sang that at the John Cash cabin with John Carter Cash, his son, and John's wife Anna, and myself and Randy from Lamb of God is on that song. Every song is stacked with amazing guests from heavy metal, from punk rock, from the outlaw country world as well. And it's just going to be something fantastic. We knew that people were going to wait a little longer than 2 years for a record. So that seems like too long for me. So I wanted to do something in the meantime. And I heard these guys work up some of the songs, and they were just fantastic.
I'm really excited. It sounds like something new.
It is something new. It's something terribly different. I mean, if you take, say, Whiskey River by Willie Nelson, it's Whiskey River, take my mind. Slow, don't let a memory torture me. Well, it's quite the opposite. It's a very fast, almost black metal version, the way the DevilDriver did it. And it's very heavy, all very high vocals, Whiskey River, like real crazy. So,
I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, we wanted to do something different. I think the connection needs to be made. You need to understand this. People in the European marketplace need to understand that in America, outlaw country, not pop country, and outlaw music, heavy metal, blues, punk rock, all have a love for outlaw country, and outlaw country guys wear American metal, Black Sabbath, DevilDriver, Lamb of God shirts on stage, these outlaw country artists that are out now. So there's a camaraderie, there's a mutual love of underground music, because the outlaw country guys are underground, and what we're doing is, sure enough, underground. So there's this thing that binds us. And me, there's no more poignant lyrics than outlaw country lyrics. You're not going to get a heavier lyric than I Shot a Man in Reno Just to Watch Him Die by Johnny Cash.
That's true.
You're not, no Pantera lyric, no black metal lyric, no satanic lyric. Nothing is going to touch that. It's very honest, it's very to the point. And I said, well, what would that, I always heard these songs heavy in my head. So what would they sound like if we did them the way I hear them? And the band really shined through, so I'm pleased, and I think people are going to love it.
There's something real and raw in country, I think.
Very real and raw.
Yeah.
Almost more real and raw than anything in metal.
Yeah.
But there's those certain bands as well that are doing real and raw shit, and that's certainly why we took over trying to do this. At first people thought we were actually going to do country, which I thought I didn't say anything on the internet because I thought it was just hilarious to let people run with the thought that now we're going, country. I thought it was fucking funny,
Yeah.
So, but no, it's quite the opposite, and it's about as brutal as it gets. Every singer that I send the songs to do, because there's maybe 20 plus guests, all say the same thing, like, oh man, this music is brutal.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So it's something totally different than what, for instance, Volbeat is doing.
What are they doing?
They have Johnny Cash influences in their songs.
Yeah,
as
of
well,
course,
but
yeah.
more in a rock style.
Right. Well, Volbeat should know this too. The great band and great dudes, but we also had a stand-up bass in our band for a very long time. And when we went to record the first record, it just couldn't keep up with what we were doing, so we had to change to a traditional bass. But the first time I saw Volbeat and they had the stand-up bass going, I was like, oh, I love it. I come from psychobilly, rockabilly, punk background. So I love all that, and I think Volbeat's a fantastic band. I would love to tour with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you consider bringing them into this project as well?
No, but I'd love to reach out if they see the interview and they want to be part of it. We have plenty of time. There's me doing these interviews is actually helping because there's a lot of artists that call me. I got a call last night at 4 in the morning because obviously somebody didn't know that I was 4 in the morning my time, saying, "Hey, I'd love to be part of this if you have another song." So I said, "Cool," and I'm now we just gained another artist that's going to be part of this. But
it's the cool thing that you're still working on it.
Yeah.
You still have room to grow it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like there's a release date. We just want to take our time. I see it coming out May next year, but that's only if it's done.
Yeah.
And just this week we had several artists lay vocals while I was out here, and several other artists coming to my house when I get home next week.
Yeah.
So we're just going through it. We're making sure that it's done right.
In what way would you say this project is different than your previous covers you did?
Well, those covers are what led to this, really. So covering 16 Horsepower, Black Soul Choir, really led us to say, well, if we can cover an alternative bluegrass kind of band like 16 Horsepower, we need to go ahead and try and do this. But there's something about DevilDriver covers that people love.
Yeah.
So we are saying, cool, we're going to do, and instead of doing the usual, like, oh, we're going to cover whatever, I guess 80s tunes and whatever. So we're doing something that's really never been done by a metal artist.
Yeah. Yeah. Punk would be the obvious thing to do.
Punk would be the obvious, but it was the first choice because I was raised on Black Flag, The Germs, Circle Jerks, Dead Kennedys, GBH. I mean, I could go on for days. Yeah. So, and perhaps that will be in the works later. We have no idea. This is going to be a volume 1 because when the label heard it, they said we need to make a volume 1 so we can do a volume 2. So I said, okay. Cool. Yeah.
So there might be a volume 3 of the jazz classics.
Well, we just never know. I mean, we'll see how well it's received. I know this, that the band did an incredible job. We've been having a great time doing it. The songs are turning out fantastic. The guest list is insane. So now let's give it to the people next year and see how well it's received, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
Talking about covers, last time we talked for our cover interview, I think it was issue 6, something like that. You mentioned, I asked you if you ever considered covering a Cold Chamber song. And you said, oh God, no.
Correct.
That's like putting radish on your hamburger.
Correct.
Now I read that you cover Cold Chamber songs with DevilDriver.
Correct. We haven't done it yet. We haven't done it yet.
Not yet.
And how this has come to fruition is I waited 13 years to put that back together. We did a record. It came out, it did very well, it was critically acclaimed, we went all over the world, most of the shows were sold out, and I realized I can probably never tour with them again because of some things they need to get a hold of personally. Things have to be on 110% with me. You have to be a pro, otherwise I don't want to deal with it. Knowing that, now do I want to wait another 10 or 12 years to do the songs that made me? So if you've ever heard a song like Loco or Fiend, off of Dark Days, done by a band like DevilDriver, now it's a whole nother monster. So when I did say that, it was like, no, I'm keeping these separate. Cold Chamber is Cold Chamber, DevilDriver is DevilDriver, but what it really is music, and if it's good music and it's done right, it'll work. So for some shows, some places, we will probably bust out 2 or 3. We haven't done it yet. We don't know where we're going to do it yet, but I'm sure it'll happen.
You mentioned that the last time we spoke, that you would love to redo Loco.
Yeah, I mean Loco with 2 guitar players that are absolutely tight, with a drummer like Austin, is going to be insanity.
Yeah, I bet.
And that is something I'm not willing to give up for another 10 or 13 years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the bottom line. That's the only reason that those 2 paths are crossing now. If they could stay separate, cool. But I really don't believe you're ever going to see another Cold Chamber show. And I don't think you're going to get another Cold Chamber album ever again. That being said, now I have to not leave those children in the closet locked up. They'll die. So you have to take them out and feed them, and the only way to do that is do them and give them to the crowd, Let
them grow up.
At Grass Pop, if we would have started Loco just the beginning, that place would have gone insane. So, we'll see. Yeah.
Will be a surprise when you finally play that.
Will I what?
When you finally play that live.
Well, it's going to be nothing but smiles on my part, So especially if it's a crowd like Grass Pop that was already going insane when we took the stage.
What was the best festival so far on this tour?
Man, they've all been fantastic. I mean, I think Grass Pop was obviously, it was amazing. Hellfest was great. Download was fantastic.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to do Copenhagen, but I mean, a lot of the festivals have been just really great for DevilDriver this year. And seeing people come out and, you know, seeing the stage completely empty, you know, watching they're watching other bands, and then when our banner goes up, it just get packed all the way back, you know, 70, 80, 90,000 people. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So the festivals have been great this year, yeah. And all of them have been treating us wonderfully.
You built quite a good name for yourself.
True.
Over the years.
A lot of work, I think, is important, you know, to say. And there's some certain relationship with DevilDriver too with the fans. They have really taken to us, and so that kind of thing only happens once in a great while, and I'm very humbled by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the reception been so far for the previous album? If you look at the tours over the last years, which songs stood out for the fans?
Well, like Trust No One really came out very strong. It was our highest debut ever in 7 records. That really doesn't happen. Most bands are putting records out and going down after that. So that's another connection that we're having. But they're loving, like we'll play My Night Sky tonight.
Cool.
Where they know Trust No One. I'm working on that with them next when we get home to make sure I have it down. I could probably do it now, but I don't want to slip up, you know, and miss a lyric or whatever. If somebody's got their phone up, I want to make sure it's perfect, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we're definitely doing 2 songs tonight off the record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daybreak is another song that we're playing.
Very cool. That. There must be an added level of stress to shows, I think, if you see all the people holding the phones up.
No, you want to do it good, you know? And I'm a perfectionist. It's, you know, when I mess up, nobody comes at me, you know. I come at myself in my own head, you know. I like get pissed at my own self, you know. So, but I mean, people want to take memories home too, so they put their phones up and want to get a clip. You know, it's the guy that sits in the front and thinks he's going to tape the whole show, like just sit here like this and just tape the whole show. He's probably going to get water bottled. You know, I don't mind a song or 2, but if you're just going to sit there like this, you're going to probably lose your phone.
Then you're not there for the show, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Missing the experience.
And you know, look, with older cats like myself, there's a little bit of something where you're missing the show if you're fucking on your phone.
Yeah.
But then again, I understand you want to go home and you want to have memories. You want to take it to people that may not have been able to come.
Yeah.
You want to show them photos that you took, and so I get it, you know, and it's all good. And plus, when they post that kind of stuff, it helps the band. So it works both ways. I'm not an anti-phone guy at concerts whatsoever. There are a lot of musicians that are like, you know, put down your phone. It's like, really, guy? Because they just posted that, and now you just got 15,000 more followers.
Yeah, people see it.
So, you know, and now all they see is you getting pissed, you know. The only time you'll ever see me water bottle is what I call it, water bottle a guy, is if he's literally 5 songs in since we've started, he's just sitting there with his phone, and he thinks he's going to tape the whole show. That's not going to happen, yeah.
Recently there was a Fred 12 interview with Mike, and he said that he really had to kind of fight his way through the pecking order of the band to let them allow them for him to write.
These are things that came to light with me after the departure of 2 members. So I had talked to my drummer on the phone one night and said, look, we don't get along. We haven't gotten along in 10 years. I don't really like you and you don't really like me, and so there's no respect. Let's go finish our show with Slipknot, our Australian tour, and come home and be done with it. Yeah. So nobody got fired, you know, it was one of those things we both agreed. Jeff left on his own, the guitar player, but he had written maybe 2 or 3 riffs, maybe in 6 records, you know, and that's not trying to put him down, that's just the truth. He wasn't a writer, and I really couldn't have that anymore either. So I'm glad that he took it upon himself to go, but I think because I sent an email previously to him saying, hey, now you're going to have to step up as a writer, I think the pressure was too much for him. But what I found out was a lot of Mike's songs over 5 records, 5 records, never got to me. I never got to see his songs because other members would just, no, we're not going to use that. We're going to use my song. And now when I hear Mike's songs, together with Neil, we have our highest debut record.
Yeah.
So maybe Mike staying back in the shadows for a little while is a good thing, because now he's full on cut loose.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have Neil, who's a very accomplished writer, platinum records in his own right, and a close friend as well. So I think you put those things together, you have a great bond, you have a great band camaraderie, everybody's writing. How many times does a new guy, Neil predominantly wrote Daybreak, the first single. How many times does a new guy come into a band that's been in over 15 years and write the single? Yeah. Most of the time ego gets in the way. Oh no, we're not letting him put his song out. None. That's not the way it is in DevilDriver. It's like whatever is best for the band, and that's what happened. And that song helped propel us, you know, which is great.
I actually read this headline on one of the gossipy sites. It was Blabbermouth, I think.
Oh, great site, wonderful site.
You like it?
Oh, I love them.
You love them.
Oh, and they love me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the headline. I thought, that mustn't be the whole story. Somehow you always know that it isn't the whole story.
The whole story is this. I was sitting at home watching The Simpsons one night and called my drummer and said, I don't like you and you don't like me. And we're done. And he goes, you're right. Wish him the best. And then Jeff found out that was happening, and Jeff departed. And I was friends with Neil for 2 or 3 years before that, and him and I were working on side projects. So no matter what, me and Neil were going to end up jamming anyways. Neil just happened to, hey man, there's a space in here for you, and you would way more than fill the space. And he did. So that is the story. I mean, you know, as far as that's not the whole story, it's like, no, that's the whole story, you know. There was no knockout. There was plenty of knockout, drag-out fights years before that. And I got tired of those. I got tired of those 3 o'clock in the morning arguments over nothing, you know. So, yeah. And I'm not that guy. I want to go on the road and have a good time. Exactly. I don't want any drama. I don't want any bullshit. I just want to go on the road, do the shows, and get home to my family.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
And I certainly, with any member or crew member, will never put up with that again. For the length of time that I put up with that, which was over 10 to 12 years. Because I felt like loyalty was very important. Keeping a band together is very important. Yeah. But in the bottom line of me sitting home going, you know what, I got to go tour with this guy again. We don't like each other. It was time to make the change. And I wish him all the best, man. He's doing other things, you know. John's doing other things, got bands, and I know he's going to succeed because he's a great guy and a great writer. Yeah. But just we are oil and water. And sometimes oil and water works.
Sometimes it does.
But not here, not in this band. We call it PVs. Positive vibes. Like my drummer made that up because we all manage to laugh and smile a lot, you know. And that's what life's about.
It is.
Yeah.
How is it to be in DevilDriver these days? How is the connection?
Oh, it's fantastic. What a blessing. Yeah. I wake up to, everybody is on the same level, man. Everybody is happy to be here, wants to do it. You know, wants to go through the motions of taking the long flights and getting no sleep and waking up early at the borders and doing all those things that you have to do to be in a band. You have to be ready. It's not just playing music. It's like you've had no sleep, now go play music and do your job and do it right. And everybody does. And there's nobody bitching and complaining. And it's fucking wonderful, man. I'm glad. And that's what made me commit to coming overseas next year and the following years for so much time is just, when you're having this good of a time, it's like, let's do it, you know. Yeah.
If you have that good a time, then you can do the many shows. You can do the small shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'll see tonight. The band chemistry is, you know, up on stage, we're like standing on each other's feet and like, you know, messing with each other. And like, you need that, man. And I hadn't had that for quite some time. Too long, way too long. And oh, well, you've had changes in a band. It's like, no, hold on now. It's been almost 15 years. Have you had a girlfriend or a job 15 years? Have you been married 15 years? So as soon as you have a job, a girlfriend, or you've been married 15 years, then you can come talk to me. Because 15 years is a long time to keep a band together when you're not getting along. When you're going in the studio together, not getting along. That's just, it's not good for this. It's not good for the soul. No.
In 15 years you can raise a pretty stubborn kid.
That's it. That's it,
I think I have one last question left.
Sure.
Do you have any last words for our readers?
Oh, anybody who supported me in any of my bands or DevilDriver from the beginning. Thank you very much, and get ready. We're going to be over here a lot, so if you see this and you didn't make tonight's show, it's all good. We'll be back soon, and thank you very much for the support.
Very cool.
Thanks.